Bernie Sanders may end up being the only victor from the Trump impeachment ceremony. Yeah, I call it ceremony because it's basically choreographed anyway. But Bernie might be the only victor, and it's not for the reasons you might think. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of Mikasa Sukasa. Of course, as always, I am your humble host, Niko House. Before we get started, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and make sure you share this video. So I'm here today to tell you that after doing some analysis, I have concluded that the one victor out of this impeachment might actually end up being one Senator Bernard Sanders. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, well, is it because he's been cheering on the impeachment? No. Is it because he's been calling Trump the most corrupt president in history? No. In fact, I actually think that's a horrible strategy, and I think that's a stupid idea. You're alienating a lot of the voters that you actually need in order to win. You don't win people over by attacking someone else, per se. You win people over by showing them why you're the better option. Strategically, that's what I think is the best strategy. However, Bernie has the best chance to win or to be the victor in this impeachment, not because of any strategy he's implementing, but by just simple polling analysis. What do I mean by that? There is one thing in this entire impeachment testimony that has not really been discussed, which is Joe Biden is going to have to testify. See, the difference between an impeachment in the House and an impeachment in the Senate, or the prosecution, I should say, in the Senate, is that the prosecution situation is actually a legal one. It is a concrete one. When you are subpoenaed in the Senate, you must show up, okay? So if Biden is subpoenaed, he must show up. Hunter Biden, subpoenaed, must show up. Giuliani, subpoenaed, must show up. Any of the officials involved in the Ukraine's former administration, they must show up. The ones conducting investigations into the former administration, the new Ukrainian administration, anyone conducting investigations into the former administration that the Republicans would like to call or subpoena, they must show up. And of course, they must have the information that is requested. Now, what is this information going to show? Well, it's going to show what we know it does. Hunter Biden, was on the board of Burisma, taking $50,000 a month, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But also, it will be discussed over and over and over again how it was actually Joe Biden who, and this is on video, okay, it was actually Joe Biden who threatened the Ukrainian prosecutor to withhold $1 billion in aid if he was not fired. Now, of course, he said it was because he just wouldn't investigate corruption enough, except for whenever the government finally did succumb to pressure and then fired that prosecutor, guess what happened next? All of a sudden, in 2016, the Burisma investigation going on in the Ukraine that nobody knew about, it was shut down once that prosecutor was fired. Now, obviously, that's a little bit suspect, right? It's a little bit suspect. And even though it is suspect, what's even more important is the fact that Joe Biden is still running for president, and everybody keeps wanting to forget that part. You are implicated in one of the largest scandals in the history of the United States. You're one administration removed from this. On top of that, the election has developed in such a way that the backup plan of Joe Biden doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't exist. Remember, originally, who was it supposed to be? Kamala Harris. No longer in the picture. Shout out Tulsi Gabbard. Elizabeth Warren. Rosenfeld. No longer in the picture. Pete Buttigieg. He was the last shot. Rose and fell again. Joe Biden is their last hope. And the Democrats haven't even realized that by setting up this impeachment ceremony, once again, it's a ceremony. That's what I call it. It was rehearsed. It was rehearsed and practiced and choreographed. By doing this, by engaging in this impeachment, they're putting their last hope to keep a Bernie Sanders, a Tulsi Gabbard, an Andrew Yang, et cetera, out of office. And that's it. Once Joe Biden gets exposed, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. They've ran options. Now, why do I say that Bernie Sanders is the one who will likely benefit from this? The reason why is because if you look in February, a poll found out that Sanders was the second choice for 27% of Joe Biden's supporters. The one who came close at that point in time was Kamala Harris at 15%. Then in third place, it was Elizabeth Warren at 9%. Now, subsequently, as things progressed around October, one poll had this. Warren was the number one second choice for Biden supporters, but only by a very, very slim margin. Because followed quickly after that was in third place or second place for that, Bernie Sanders. Now, what has happened since October? Elizabeth Warren has fallen in the polls. Now another poll, once again, has Bernie as a second choice, where Bernie has 16% of Biden supporters said that they would vote for Bernie Sanders. The one constant here is that Bernie Sanders is always in the top 3 or the top 2 as a second choice for the candidate who is supposedly the front runner, who will not be the front runner by the end of this impeachment, and I can guarantee that. Those voters are going to go where the wave tells them to go. And the truth of the matter is, no matter how you feel about Bernie's stance on the impeachment, which I do not approve of, by the way, but the fact of the matter is, Bernie is the other choice for the Biden supporters. And Biden is almost running out of time. Now, with that being said, Bernie's biggest competition, honestly, was Elizabeth Warren. No longer in the picture, if we're being realistic. The up-and-comer was Pete Buttigieg. They thought that he was going to be... Nope. The media is shredding him for some reason. And I don't even understand why at this point. He's done. Which means the race is wide open for an outsider to win. And realistically, if we're just going to go off the quantitative numbers, the raw numbers, the guy with 1 million volunteers, the guy with over 1 million unique and individual donors, the guy who keeps breaking finance record after finance record after finance record, is likely the guy who's going to win. But I'll say this. It's interesting to me, and I've always said this. This has been my motto when it comes to politics. You want to figure out how to defeat the establishment, you win how you defeat everybody else. You use their self-interest against them. Establishment Democrats, more than anything else, believe in self-preservation. They will throw other establishment Democrats, but the establishment Democrats who are not necessarily dinos, they will throw them into the fire if it means the Chuck Schumers can survive, the Nancy Pelosi's can survive, the Dianne Feinsteins can survive, the Maxine Waters, etc. They will throw anybody else they have to into the fire to protect their dinos. That has been their downfall. And it will be their downfall. Because, yeah, they can cheat Bernie, they can cheat Tulsi, they could even cheat Yang. However, now they'll have absolutely no leg to stand on. Hillary almost got beat by Bernie, even though we know it was rigged, but we know that she almost got beat by Bernie during a petty email scandal, amongst other things, but that email scandal was hovering over her head. This is something entirely different. And this is an entirely different version of a Bernie Sanders campaign. This is a Bernie Sanders campaign with a lot of money, a lot of name recognition, and a lot of energy. And when it comes down to it, once this impeachment testimony is, or once these impeachment testimonies are over, and Trump is not defeated, the Democrats look like idiots, because they will. The ones who will be left standing are the outsiders who were rebuked by the idiots. And in my humble estimation, that is the best position to be in. I would love to know what your thoughts are about this. Hit that like button, share this video, make sure you're still subscribed, of course. Make sure that you have that notification bell turned on. And always remember, more than anything else, people, find your balance. Peace. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell if you like that segment of Mikasa Sukasa. Of course, if YouTube is giving you trouble, as it always does, you can download the Rockfin app and follow us there. Also, if you want to continue to help our show grow, you can help us reach our goal of 500 patrons on Patreon and donate as little as $1. Really, anything helps. Other than that, always remember, people, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.